Ever wish you could just travel back in time? See what it was like to be young in a totally different era? Well, today, we're going to do just that. We're cracking open a time capsule, a single news bulletin from 1987 that gives us this absolutely incredible window into a vibrant, organized youth movement. And this is our guide. It's called Munnettram, which means progress, and it was the official voice of the Tamil Representative Council's youth wing in Singapore. Now I know it might look kind of simple, but trust me, the story it tells is anything but. So that's really the big question we're tackling here. Can one single document, totally frozen in time, actually reveal the energy, the ambitions, and, the whole structure of a community's next generation? Let's dig in and find out. All right, first things first. When you look at this cover, it's not an article that grabs you. It's this map. And right away, it tells you a really powerful story about just how big this movement's ambitions were. Yeah, see, this wasn't just some small club in one neighborhood. This map shows 12 different branches spread all across the island, from Jurong way out in the west to Bedok in the east. We're talking about a true national organization here. And what's wild is this speed at which they grew. I mean, look at this. It all started in 1983 with just one branch in Woodlands. But by 1985, boom, they exploded, adding 6 new branches. By 1986, they were already at 12. That is just incredible growth in only 4 years. And this wasn't just some chaotic free-for-all. It was managed by a surprisingly sophisticated structure. They had a national executive committee for the big picture vision, a board of advisors for guidance, individual councils for every single branch, and even special units to handle things like seminars or cultural events. This was a seriously legit operation. Okay, so they've got this impressive structure in place, right? But the real question is, what did it actually feel like to be a member day to day? What were they actually doing? The philosophy just shines right through the pages of this newsletter. It's so clear. This was all about holistic development. They were focused on nurturing every single part of a young person's life. And these two pictures side by side, they just perfectly capture that approach. On one hand, you've got these serious leadership workshops to train up-and-coming organizers, and on the other, a casual evening of recreation at Changi. It's that perfect balance of serious personal development and just pure community fun. And just get a load of their calendar for February and March of '87. It was jam-packed. You had an evening of literature, talks on Indian history, a discussion about modern roles for women, and even a picnic out to Kusu Island. There was literally something for everybody. And they didn't just stop at culture and intellectual stuff. Nope, sports were a big deal too. A major highlight in this newsletter was their upcoming 4th annual 7-a-side soccer tournament. The fact that this was already the 4th time they were holding it tells you everything. This wasn't some one-off event, it was a tradition. It was a big deal that brought everyone together. But here's what's really cool. This organization wasn't just about leaders planning events for its members. It was a two-way street. As we're about to see, it was also a powerful platform for the youth to actually have their own voice. The newsletter had this section called My View, which was basically an open forum. And check this out. A member named Lechami Devi from the Bedok branch writes this passionate piece, pretty much calling on community elders to connect better with the younger generation. How powerful is that? They were giving young people a real platform to speak their minds. So, what else was on their minds? What were the big, pressing issues they were all talking and thinking about? Well, we find the answer right here, in the report on their 5th Tamil Youth Seminar. And just look at these topics. We're talking the future of their language, their history in Singapore, social structures, economic progress, education. I mean, these are deep, nation-building conversations, and they were being had by 500 young people. So what does that tell you? It shows that these members weren't just passively showing up for events. No, they were deeply engaged citizens, actively thinking about their place in the community and what the path forward should look like. They were really taking ownership. All right, let's zoom out for a second. When you put it all together, what does this one document from 1987 really show us? What are the big takeaways from just one issue of Munnettram? You know, what really emerges from these pages is a timeless blueprint for how to build a vibrant community right from the grassroots. It shows you need a solid structure, you need a diverse program for everyone, you have to empower your members with a voice, and all of that works together to build this powerful, shared sense of purpose.
And you got to remember the context here. This was 1987. No internet, no social media, no group chats. This little newsletter and the face-to-face events it was promoting, that was the social network. It's how people connected, how they shared ideas, and how they built a community, deliberately, piece by piece, in person.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In our world today, with all its digital everything and endless online connections, what lessons can we pull from this analog model? What can this 1987 blueprint teach us about what it truly means to build a strong, engaged, and thriving community right now?